Not in the live. Come on, live. Come on. Come on. Yay! Finally! Okay, we're live. Sometimes it just takes a little long, but we get there and we're there. So, respect of others. And happy Monday. We're getting to the end of the month. And it's appropriate to talk about respecting others. I learned this from my mentor, John Maxwell, that see every person as a 10. How do you do that? Very, very simple. Rather than thinking negative about whoever it is that may be on your team, even if they are not performing well, the more you act towards them as if they're 10, you begin to notice changes in their behavior. For example, instead of using words that pull them down, build them up with encouragement. Secondly, give credit by acknowledging their contribution. It's nothing more frustrating than you put in a lot of effort and then somebody else takes the credit. It's frustrating. At least some acknowledgement will go a long way. And then give people recognition by gratitude. Yesterday was gratitude because, every Sunday is a day of gratitude. So, when you're interacting with people, see them as a 10. A short video came on my feed. Probably spent a little bit more time than I planned to, but this one was definitely worth it. It was about a young lady who had been stopped by the police. And of course, initially she had an attitude, and the police officer was, okay, you know what? This time, I'm not going to give you a ticket. Just a warning because you were speeding at 61 in a 45 zone. She was relieved. And she said, I'm just having a bad day. So rather than chastise her, he asked her, is everything okay? She said, yeah, everything's okay. And then he said something very interesting. Would you like a hug? Can you imagine a police officer asking a young lady in a car whom he stopped? What a kind-hearted gentleman. He said, would you like a hug? And she said, yes. Apparently, this is a young lady who had gone through a lot of tough situations. She had been in an abusive relationship. She had just moved to this new state, and I can't remember all that detail, but she had just moved, so she was new in this particular place. And she had been sober for like eight months or something, 8 or 10 months. But because of the challenges she was going through, she was on her way to do something. She didn't say what it was, but she said, I just had it. I just had enough. I just had it. But that simple gesture that this police officer did, giving her a hug, it was just so touching. Honestly, it actually made me tear up. But it was just nice to see. Sometimes we just need to be kind to others. He could have given her a ticket. It would have probably made her day even worse than she was already feeling. Sometimes we don't always have to go 100% by the book. Not saying that we have to break any laws, but there's sometimes we just need to have grace towards a fellow man, a fellow person, people, woman, whomever we're working with, dealing with. living with. Just have to have grace sometimes. Well, this police officer had grace on this young lady, and it saved her life. So much so she came back to see him. Of course, these videos, they don't go into all the details, but it just showed the next couple of months later, maybe 6 months later, she went back to see the police officer with her little son. And she said to her son, "He saved my life." So, in dealing with people, even when you are in the place where you could say a harsh word or get upset, just a little restraint and empathy can make a difference in somebody's life. That you just don't know what they're going through, what they're facing, and just an act of kindness can make a difference to them. So think about that, respecting of others, seeing everybody as a 10. Like this young lady, she had broken the law. She was driving 61 in a 45 zone, so she broke the law. He had, like I said, he had every right to give her a ticket. But he chose to have empathy, seeing her as a 10, because he didn't know her story. He didn't know what she was going through at that moment. Just that he could tell she had an attitude, and she was like, well, maybe I'm just having a bad day. But he went deeper, like, let me go beyond the surface and just see how I can help this young lady. And he did, and it made a difference in her life. So as you go around your day, what impact can you have on someone else today? Well, that's it for today. God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow.